Don't worry, ask me for a date, I say yes. Hands me his business card with finesse. The card's a URL to a website. He says my number's on that page, see it tonight. Front-end developers like to put on shows. Flash UI, but performance never grows. Give their junk a touch, it explodes. The likelihood of pleasure no one knows. Erectile dysfunction is the true game. 2 pumps on the mouse, limp shame. Their sites load longer than they could ever last. I get home with the card clutched in hand. Get on my laptop and on the URL I land. A fancy loading spinner, all just a wait. Made with React, didn't realize my fate. 20 minutes later, it's still spinning. This guy's a front-end dev, got a feeling. The fans on my laptop, they go brrr. Finally the page loads, my heart astir. The browser crashes hard, lose it all. Guess he has a small penis after all. Front-end developers like to put on shows. Flash UI, but performance never grows. Give their junk a touch, it explodes. The likelihood of pleasure no one knows. Erectile dysfunction is the true game. 2 pumps on the mouse, limp shame. The sites load longer than they could ever last.
Front-end tards think they're code bards. Stupidity they guard, their brain just lard. Performance is too hard, penis thin as a card. All their tools a cope, React, Vite, Vue, no hope. Abstractions for the dope, good code, nope.
What's up, everyone? I'm almost ready. I have to admit that song is a bit harsh. It's a bit of a harsh song, okay? It's just a bit harsh.
Front-end tards think they're code bards. Stupidity they guard, their brain just lard. Performance is too hard, penis thin as a card. All their tools a cope, React, blank, Vue, no hope. Abstractions for the dope, good code, nope. Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna turn on music. Okay, welcome in everyone. Hey Ross, how's it going, man? Good to see you. All right, let's get started, shall we? Shall we? Shall we get started with the daily tech news? I think we shall. Here, we'll do this. I already have the first one lined up. Let me just make sure I have the rest. Yeah, okay, I'm good. Okay, welcome in, folks. If you're watching this live or you're watching this later, I appreciate you being here and showing some support, and hopefully we'll have some interesting stuff to cover today. If not, that's my fault, and you can blame me, and that's all I've got to say about that. Okay. So as per usual, I have more security hacks that have happened throughout the world. It seems never ending. It seems like every day there's something new, and they're all disastrous, and like particularly economically. They all seem to be economically, particularly egregious. And well, I have more today. It just doesn't seem to end. Hey, Muad on X, how you doing? Yeah, if you're on X or you're on Rumble or you're on LinkedIn or Twitch or YouTube, feel free to drop a chat and say hi. I see all the different chats on all the different platforms. Yeah, I appreciate all the viewers. So let's start. I've got a few topics to cover, so we're going to get into it here. So I thought this one was interesting. We can start with this one. All right. A weird phrase is plaguing scientific papers, and we traced it back to a glitch in AI training data. Now, at first, I was really excited about this article because I thought that it would demonstrate that AI essentially came up with an entirely fake scientific phrase, and it just got accepted in full. That's not exactly what happened, but I still think that this is worthy of consideration. So essentially what happened is that scientists discovered a peculiar term appearing in published papers, vegetative electron microscopy. What's up, Pure on Twitch? Good to see you. So it sounds technical, but it's nonsense. It's become a digital fossil, an error preserved and reinforced in AI that is nearly impossible to remove from our knowledge repositories. Now, here's why. This term comes from previous papers, including all the way back from the 1950s, before AI was being used, and it was a term that somebody else came up with. It was incorrect, and there were corrections that were made to the papers. They were the journal would publish corrections to the paper, but it's still there. Or in other cases, including 2017 and 2019, it was a translation error. So this thing exists, this term existed before AI was a thing, right? Now, unfortunately, what that means is that all the training data that we have includes this term because it's included in scientific papers. So then you can make a logical inference as to what AI is going to do with that data. So even though there are people who are contesting the term and whether it's a real term or not and whatever, and they're trying to fix it, unfortunately, it exists. And as a result of that, the results were revealing. OpenAI's Geppetto 3 consistently completed phrases with vegetative electron microscopy. Earlier models, such as Geppetto 2 and BERT, did not. This pattern helped us isolate when and where the contamination occurred. And so what they did is they prompted their way through the different models to determine when the term showed up versus when it didn't. And so by judging the different models, they could tell what training data was used. So you can have a look here. And there's a Common Crawl data set of scraped internet pages where they found the most likely place that the term came from. Now, it's millions of gigabytes in size. And you could do a simple keyword filtering to take it out, but it could also eliminate legitimate references such as this article. What's up, Ghost? Good to see you, man. What's up, Elko? Good to see you. No, I do not have a job. I only have contract work. I'm just scraping by. I'm grateful, but I'm also just scraping by. What's up, Laughing Panda? Good to see you. So you can kind of see the chicken and egg problem here, right? Can everybody see the problem? So a term from a 70-year-old scientific paper is part of training data for AI. AI thinks it's a real term. It perpetuates it as a real term. If you ask for it, it comes up as if it were a real scientific term. It is not. It has been contested long before AI came into being, but now you can't just filter it out because we now have legitimate references to it, such as this article before me or this stream. So now you have to wonder. This is exactly why I had the syllogy that I came up with, and I posted it on X. So a syllogy is basically a series of premises that come to a conclusion. And the syllogy is really simple. Premise 1, AI is created by humans. Premise 2, all humans are imperfect. Conclusion, all AI will be imperfect. What people think we're doing with AI is speedrunning positive aspects of humanity. In reality, what we're doing with AI is we're speedrunning the imperfections of humanity. And in some cases, yes, in some cases, AI has some things that it can do better than a human, depending on context, but it's very narrow and limited context. And I've covered a few on here. But this is exactly the kind of problem that we speedrun, because unless this was discovered, right, unless you had a subject matter expert who prompted the AI to come up with, I just want to read the term again, vegetative electron microscopy, and looked at it and went, what the hell is this? This would not have been discovered. And people would have looked at a term like this, and perhaps any amount of scientific data surrounding this that the AI tells you is true scientific data because it read it in a paper 50 years ago, 70 years ago. Everyone would just believe it is true. I mean, everyone in a general sense, right? Make of that what you will. So even if AI is not hallucinating, it is at least incapable of making value judgments of what data it has. There are a lot of conclusions to take from there, but I thought I'd start with that one. We'll get back to some of the AI stuff. Let's do some security news. Have you ever needed dialysis? Well, I'm sorry to say. Ross, aren't there millions of papers that have had faults that have later been corrected? Yes, there are. That's right, Ross. Yeah, that's right. How many of those papers are a part of the training data? Perhaps inadvertently, yes. But then you create a chicken and egg problem, because once they're in, the real references come out of that. So like, do you remove a follow-up reference to an incorrect term if the follow-up reference indicates that the term is incorrect to begin with? Wouldn't you kind of want that to stay? So then you can't just do a complete removal. You have to find all incorrect references of it, tag them as incorrect, or remove them, but keep all legitimate references. It's like, what? It's just... Hallucinations are bad when no data is there. Yeah, that's right. But when data is there. Okay, I'm going to keep trucking for a little bit. So this kidney dialysis company, DaVita, was hit by ransomware. Patient care continues, so that's good. They're a major kidney dialysis service provider in the US. They've had a ransomware incident that encrypted parts of the company's resources. So they disclosed a filing with the SEC, and they're working on it. They don't know the full impact. Now, there's been no claims as to who, like somebody taking responsibility for it. However, the amount of data that they do have is, well, you can imagine how dangerous it would be in the wrong hands. They serve approximately 281,100 patients at 3,166 outpatients dialysis centers, of which a vast majority are in the US, and they employ 55,000 people. So the details are pretty scarce about how they got in and whether there's been, like what kind of data has been compromised. Now, they do say that dozens of DaVita's employees have been recently compromised with infostealer infections. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's not looking great. So be careful out there. This is a daily thing. Like I find myself incapable of going 24 hours without at least one article like this. So, yeah. Now, as if that wasn't enough, yeah. Ever used an ambulance? Oh, what the hell? How can anyone honestly say? How can anyone honestly say that the tech industry is in fine shape? It's never been worse. Ambulance service breached. Now hackers might know your blood type and bank info. A massive cyber attack on a Midwestern ambulance company may have exposed everything from medical records to passport numbers for over 100,000 patients. If you called an ambulance in Illinois last year, there's a non-zero chance that a hacker now knows more about you than your doctor does. So personal, medical, financial data of 118,418 people. It occurred in 2024, but was only recently made public. Data could include full names, birth dates, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, medical and insurance information, login credentials, and for some people, passport details. And again, I just want you to think about the type of people and the ethical and moral values that they have to hack something like this in the first place. And what do you think they're going to do with this data? Yeah, this is fine, right? What do you think they're going to do with this? Now, again, I don't think that they go into details about how exactly they were hacked, which is, like, I understand why, but it's also unfortunate because I would like to know, right? I would like to know how they did it. But the usual suspects apply, right? The usual suspects apply. Elko, they most likely they'll just sell the data on the dark web. That's fair. So then what about the people who buy this data? What do you think they're going to do with it, right? And so on and so on. At some point, someone has access to this data. And if they have access to this data, they did so illegally. What do you think their ethical line would be? Oh, we're not going to use this stuff to ruin people's lives, right? Now, have you ever rented a car? It just keeps going, folks. Ever rented a car by any chance? Hurts, don't it? Hertz says customers' personal data and driver's licenses stolen in data breach. Car rental giant Hertz has begun notifying its customers of a data breach that included their personal info and driver's licenses. The breach relates to a cyber attack on one of its vendors between October 2024 and December 2024. The stolen data varies by region, but it largely includes customers' names, dates of birth, contact info, driver's licenses, payment card information, and workers' compensation claims. Hertz said a smaller number of customers had their social security numbers taken in the breach, along with other government-issued identification numbers. This is like so depressing. It's so depressing. A whole bunch of customers in Maine, way more customers in Texas. Now, the company attributed the breach to a vendor, software maker Clio, which last year was at the center of a mass hacking campaign by a prolific Russia-linked ransomware gang. Hertz is one of dozens of companies that used Clio software at the time of their data thefts. The Clop ransomware gang claimed last year to have exploited a zero-day vulnerability in Clio's widely used enterprise file transfer products, which allow companies to share large sets of sensitive data over the internet. By breaching these systems, the hackers stole reams of data from Clio's corporate customers. So this is huge because Hertz was not only affected, and because this was news from last year, I haven't covered it. However, reading this article earlier today made me realize that I should probably go look at this Clio hack. It might make for a good, enlightened programming stream. But again, I just don't understand anybody who says the tech industry is fine. Never been better. Ross says, I traveled a lot with my previous job. We use Hertz to drive all around the country. Yeah. So, and there was a Daily Tech News I did only a few episodes ago where someone got access to travel data for some kind of international shipping business, I think. It doesn't take a lot of effort to imagine how you can misuse that kind of data. So they took everything, but you didn't have everyone's social security number. Saying a smaller number had those taken sounds better, though. I mean, it does sound better, yes. I mean, I can't deny it sounds better, sure. But boys and girls, keeps going. Keeps going. GovTech giant Conduit confirms client data stolen in January cyber attack. So January 2025, American business services and government contractor Conduit disclosed that client data was stolen. They provide digital platforms and solutions for government and commercial clients in transportation, healthcare, customer experience, and human resources. They have over 33,000 employees, and they provide services to half of Fortune 100 companies and over 600 government and transportation agencies. They suffered a cyber attack that impacted customers' operations across the US, including local government agencies. The threat actor exfiltrated a set of files associated with a limited number of the company's clients. Due to the complexity of the files, the company engaged cybersecurity data mining experts to evaluate the exfiltrated data and was recently informed of its nature, scope, and validity, confirming that the datasets contained a significant number of individuals' personal information associated with their clients and users. They're continuing to look into like what the heck was, what. So far, nothing has been published. No one's taking accountability. No material operations, but it did incur expenses because of operational, downtime. So what kind of data would they have? And how did they get their hands on it? Again, probably the usual suspects, because us as programmers in the space generally know the kinds of exploits that people use to gain access to these things. Social engineering not precluded. Now, let me see if I can just, I think there was one more. Let me just go pull that up. Leaking my user data as a service. Yeah. One sec. Let me find it. I had it up right here. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. There's more. One more. Yeah, thanks, Vibe Coders. Yeah. Landmark admin data breach impact now reaches 1.6 million people. Those big numbers. It feels like everyone's trying to outcompete each other with the number of people who have been exposed by these kinds of issues. Landmark admin has issued an update to its investigation of a cyber attack it suffered in May 2024, increasing the number of impacted individuals to 1.6. So they're a Texas-based third-party administrator handling policy accounting, regulatory reporting, reinsurance support, and IT systems for major insurers nationwide like Liberty Bankers Life and American Benefit Life. They had some weird activity on May 13th, and 806,519 people had their full name, home address, social security number, tax identification number, driver's license number, state issued identification card, passport number, financial account number, medical information, date of birth, health insurance policy number, life and annuity policy information. I'm like the Ron Pope of hacking news, but wait, there's more. Yeah, because there's always more. I find it difficult to find the words that need to be said. Hey Johnny, I just got in, but don't tell me Firebase or S3. I don't think the article goes into what the details were. It doesn't. They don't say what the details of the hack are. If I had no moral character, I could do a lot of things with that kind of data. Yep. And there are plenty of people who have no moral character. Probably 100 actively ongoing hospitals leaking data right now. Has to be, since there's so many public articles on this. Yeah. Think about how long I've been doing the Daily Tech News stream. You can say maximally 4 weeks at best. That's pushing it, I think, because we're what, Wednesday today or something? So a maximum 4 weeks doing Daily Tech News. And every single day for the past 4 weeks, I have been able to find at least one, usually multiple articles to this effect. Every single day. And what I don't think people realize is, and I'm going to say it again, I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir, because if you're watching this right now, then you're probably someone who's watched me before and you've heard this a million times. But in case you're someone who's new, we have catered to the lowest common denominator of programmers in order to make it easier for them to enter the space. The principle behind that, I don't see anything wrong with it. We want people to have a way to be able to become programmers, and we want to provide them with the accessibility they need to get there. But there is a good way of doing it and there is a bad way of doing it. And for, I would argue, the last 10 years, it has been mostly the bad way, which is that we make them actually less knowledgeable and more dependent on things they don't understand. And as a result of that, people have forgotten or don't even know how to do fundamental things like lock down an S3 bucket. That's just an example. I don't know if that's what happened here, but I'm just stating that as an example. And so what's happened is that, well, what's happened is this. This is what's happened. And then the downwind consequences of that are exactly what Ross on Twitch is saying. They have an impact to people you care about. That could be someone, that could be data, passport number, or life and annuity information, or health information about a spouse or a grandparent or a sibling or one of your children or somebody you care about. This is not good. Yeah, Ghost, we're 15K in April. That's right. It's right down here. So April of this year, we're already at 15,000. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to double this chart by the end of the year? This is absolutely insane growth. And I argue, my argument is that this is the outcome of catering to the lowest common denominator. Instead of encouraging programmers who want to enter the space to actually understand the space better. And AI. Well, that's part of it, though. AI is bundled into that, Ross. So I agree. But AI is being used in this capacity, right? If you think about it, AI is essentially a speed run of the lowest common denominators. Right? LG, most CVE reports are pretty BS. A lot of these higher numbers are due to the rise of automated tools spamming reports as well. Okay, sure. Let's say 50% of it. Let's say 50% is wrong. Let's just take 50%. Half of the numbers are wrong. Would that still be a dramatic rise in issues? Is that dramatic? Would this chart still look crazy if like it was at 25K at the top because we just knocked off like 50% or 20K? It would still be way out to lunch. Depends on what the actual scores and reports are. Yeah, it always depends on that. But we've taken that, we're kind of taking that into account if we knock off 50% as being completely dubious. If you knock off 50%, the numbers are still crazy. And let's say that it is 50% and there's like a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so Johnny just said it as I was thinking it. The fact that I can come on here every single day and find a minimum of one of these kinds of articles new every single day speaks also for itself. At least it lends some credence to the entire idea. So I don't think it's an ignorable number, no matter how you look at it. Part of the problem is a system like Agile prioritizing deploying fast versus due diligence. Yes, Alco, I agree. And I've hated Agile ever since it came out. I thought it was a stupid way to deal with software programming. It's what it actually is cope for managers who do not know how to appropriately manage their team, and they're looking for an obfuscation method. So as long as they tick off some checkboxes, they can wash their hands clean if the output of a technical team is not meeting their expectations. That's what I think Agile really is. And Johnny, you said exactly what I was going to say here. Okay, now let's keep going. Not that one. We're going to move a little bit into a few like AI topics. Just so you guys know. Okay. Just so you know, OpenAI is developing its own X-like social media platform. Surely this will not go wrong. Shirley says that this should be fine, right? There are no issues with this. They're going to make their own social media platform, right? Now, it just so happens that on the very same day that this article comes out, let me see if I can pop it up here. Where is it? Here we go. So OpenAI is making their own social media platform, right? This article also comes out. Social networks are vulnerable to relatively simple AI manipulation and polarization. So this is a paper published in IEEE Explore. And AI can absolutely be used to psychologically impact people in social media spaces. I actually don't think you generally need a research paper to be published to understand how this works or that it does work. Now, what happens when AI is in charge of the social media? I think today is the day where I am fundamentally at a loss for words. I'm just at a loss for words, okay? Now, I just want to throw one more thing in there. For the people who hype AI, because they're part of the AI hype cult, and they think that AI is going to replace programmers, and they think that there is like a limitless reach and extent that AI can go to. It will far outpace us, and we won't need to work anymore. It will replace programmers, all that stuff. I would just like to demonstrate something to you. Okay, I did this. I did this before I started the stream. You guys ready for this? I can't. I can't. Here we go. I asked ChatGPT to generate me a map of Europe. Shall we look at the map of Europe? Hang on, I might have to refresh this. There we go. Let's have a look, shall we? Let me open the image here. All right, let's look. Let's look at the map of Europe, shall we? We just have a bunch of orange up here. Who the hell knows what that is? Then we have some green. Who the hell knows what that is? Then we've got Testoria. Then we've got Nordic Incantation. Then we've got Ireland. Then we've got Liptius. I don't know. Then we've got Trinkex. Then we just have the Sea of North. We have like Austria over here. We have Sorten. We have Krutia. There's not even actually a line over here. They're starting to become communist, right? So they're removing the lines. The people are merging, right? We have Ersprob. We have Syria. Crete is its own. It's just its own country. We have Grexe. Okay. We have France over here, Spain, and then some unknown gibberish land. Welcome to Europe. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, just can't even do it. I can't deal with it. Okay, so then I thought to myself, I wonder, and I wanted to save this for on stream in case I have to eat crow. Okay, so generate a map of the United States with all continental states drawn. Okay, let's just see what it comes up with. Now, while I'm talking about this, I participated in a space on X today. And the premise of the space was vibe coding is not programming. And Ross on the Twitch chat and I argued with some other people about whether you are a programmer if you vibe code. And some of the arguments we heard today were absolutely insane. For example, it's not about the code, it's about the results. So if I as a user am happy with the results, then why do I care about the code underneath, for example? Or if you have a tool can make you be a thing. So for example, if you have the right tool, then you are a programmer because the tool makes the programmer. There were other insane arguments I heard. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. I'm sure Ross can drop them in chat, but it was pretty bad. And I pressured anybody who was making positive, assertive claims about AI's future or what AI can do now to present data to back up their arguments. Can you guess how many people in the X space who were positive about AI presented any amount of data? Just a wild guess. How many presented data? And then I had to go and find the data that I have on my big list of stuff you've all seen. I have a huge document that I maintain. In order to do all of these streams, I was ready to pull out the data, but I asked them to first present their data for their assertions. How many of them had data? Just a wild guess. Anybody in chat? Take a guess. Any number. Pick. Go. And then we'll go have a look at the state map. It's 0. It's exactly 0. Instead, exactly. There you go. The only argument that they had was it worked for me. So the internalized anecdotal argument, therefore it works for everyone. And yep, it's 0. And one person had the audacity to say, I used AI to navigate a personal court case that I had to go through. And not only did it help me adjudicate that court case, but I also had a lawyer who looked at my court filings and said, wow, that's great. And then some logical insert logical thing here. He got a job developing a website for that lawyer. One of them, yes, that's right. Thank you, Ross. One of them said, you're a mechanic if you hire a mechanic. That's right. So if you go to someone to fix your car and they hire a mechanic to fix your car, at what point does them hiring a mechanic make the actual person hiring the mechanic a mechanic themselves? That was the actual argument. There was another argument, which is like, well, do you know how CPU architecture actually works? All your IDEs and all your languages are just an abstraction over top of what the hardware does underneath. And that's what large language models are. It's just another abstracted layer. You just speak to it and it does the same thing. You get code production out of it and it produces code, then you execute it. So you're a programmer. Well, then by that logic, all CEOs of all time who have ever asked a team of programmers to produce anything are all vibe coders. By that definition, they're all vibe coders. Any CEO who's ever asked a tech team, hey, I have these business requirements, generate some code that executes on hardware, they're all vibe coders. Have you ever used a website? You're now a vibe coder. Yeah. Yeah. And then somebody, Ross is bringing up some stuff I missed, but yeah, somebody also said, well, if there's ever a time where you run into a problem with AI and it generates something bad, you just get AI to fix it. Now, shall we look? Shall we look at the map of the United States? I just want to drive this point home. This is what AI... We have at least 2 states which are unnamed. Yes. Who cares about, like, you know... I just can't. Who cares about Washington, right? Yeah, somebody said AI doesn't hallucinate, right? Here's, Idaho. We just have North and South. We just have North and South. We have Wisconsin. We have Michigan. It sounds like a bad pickup line. Michigan. Look at New York. And then New York is just broken up into a whole bunch of other little tiny states on the right-hand side here. Just a whole bunch of tiny states. I mean, look at that. And then you have Pennsylvania, right? This is where the vampires live. Right? Then you have like Nidderall. You have Volundis. Yeah. Nevada's down here on top of California where it should be, right? You've got New Mexico and Oklahoma above Oklahoma. Howdy ho, neighborino. Oklahoma. Then you have Arkansas. Then you have Missouri, because that's where misery lives. Then you have Alabakia, which is maybe like that's where like Greeks like create like their, I don't know, something. Then you have West Pripyat over here. Then you have Virginia. Then you have Blatcastle, and then I don't even know. Then you have Florida. Oh, and by the way, Alaska and Hawaii are down here, and the Pacific Ocean is over here, and the Atlantic Ocean is over here. Is there a swastika on here? Where's the swastika, bro? Where is it? Oh, bros. AI is Nazi confirmed. Listen. Look at this. Look at this. This state is full on Nazi. Look. I don't even live next to the third world country of Nigeria. I mean, I don't understand how you can look at this data. This isn't hard. I did this live. Like, I didn't pre-prompt this. I did it publicly on stream. I don't know how you can look at this and come to some kind of conclusion. I mean, what the hell is off of Wisconsin? Wisconsin has like a growth. Go get a doctor to check that out, Wisconsin. Okay, like, I don't understand how you can look at this and somehow your brain comes to the conclusion. You somehow convince yourself that AI is going to replace programmers, or that it's going to generally beat humans at any task, or at most tasks, let's say. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm willing to give AI dues where it's due. It has use cases that are good. But it will never exceed these kinds of issues, because we have humans who train the AI and they make mistakes like this. It's just an image representative format. Like Oklahoma. Like, this is crazy. Is there anything else I should try? What else should I try, guys? Hit me with one more. Let's do one more before I close off the stream. One more. Somebody hit me with something. We'll try one more because this is kind of fun. I could do like the Canadian provinces. I could do South America. I could do like Asia. Australia. Yeah, should I do like I could do like the provinces of Australia? Here. Let's do one I know. Generate a map of Canada with all its provinces. Now this will be interesting because there is a portion of the southern part of North America that has Alaska as a state next to one of the provinces. So yeah, try a trick question. Draw me the 50 states of Australia. Okay. Okay, we'll do that. Let's do the Canada one, and then we'll do draw me the 50 states of Australia. Yeah, Taz says, I think AI has been super helpful with autocomplete suggestions when I'm doing basic CRUD code, but nothing really past that. I agree. There are definitely use cases where I've like a limited narrow scope of AI and I've asked it a question or I've asked it to kind of give me a summary of some code. It does okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it's not, right? It can be hit and miss. And as long as you know that going in, it's fine. And because it's a narrow scope, you can kind of deal with that, right? Because you're not dealing with a big complicated system. But yeah, beyond that, it can troubleshoot syntax on functions if it knows the context. That's true. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is exactly right. This is what I'm saying, is that there are definitely cases where AI has a good use case or even just a mediocre one, which is acceptable, right? Oh no. Oh no. Here, and while we look at that, draw me a map of the 50 states of Australia. So I'm going to let that run, and then we're going to go look at this Canada map. Yukon, Northwest Territories, some unknown province up here, Alberta. Apparently I live in Alberta. Holy crap. Albikel, Saskatchewan, unknown province, Ontario. Oof. Quebec is huge. I didn't know Quebec. I didn't know Quebec was this big. Newfoundland, Labrador, some unknown area. Privchefediad Island, Nova Scotia, and NB. And you know what? You know what Nova Scotia looks like? I just want to demonstrate what Nova Scotia looks like. It looks like one of those like health classes you take in high school, and it's showing like the ovaries. It's showing like the internal. It's showing ovaries. It's a biology health ovaries. That's what Nova Scotia is. And look, bros, look at the line. This line goes like straight across. I'm like, what the hell even is this? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, shall we see what it came up with for Australia? Holy shit. Yep, the 50 states of Australia. The 50 states. Well, at least it didn't draw 50 states. But holy shit, bros. Australian crystal terquerie. What the Tasmania? Yes. Bros, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. You were hoping it would cram US states there? Me too. Me too. Maybe we should ask it something a bit more specific. Go, no. We'll try and gaslight it, okay? No. This is wrong. I want you to draw me a map of the 50 United States. No, of the 50 American states in Australia. Let's just see if it'll even do it. A map of the solar system? Let's try a map of the solar system. I have a few more minutes before I gotta go. I've got like 5 minutes. So listen, boys. Listen. If you like what I'm doing here and you like the Daily Tech News stream and you like me building my video game to show that like dum-dums like me can do better in this industry, if you like me going over all this like raw scientific data on my Enlightened programming streams, if you like the fact that I will go on spaces publicly and argue with people who admittedly have a lot more viewership and pull than I do. So I'm kind of putting myself as like a, you know, I'm taking a hit. If you like what I'm doing because I care and I want to see us do better, while we're kind of winding this down and having some fun, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe, share those links, do all that. As much as I absolutely hate the algorithm game, it is a necessary aspect to get the attention that I think this kind of stuff needs. And you guys help me with that. And just so you know, just really quickly, just before we do that, I just want you to know what the numbers you're about to see here are because of you guys. Literally. These numbers, 16,000 plus subscribers, that's a huge growth. The views that I'm getting, the likes and all that on YouTube, that's you guys. The amount of reach that I get on X, that's you guys. That's all you guys. You help me with that, even though I hate the algorithms, but you're helping me with that, and I really appreciate it. So if you want me to keep doing this, then please help me out, because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to do it. And I'll keep doing it for as long as you support me. I will keep making these arguments. I will keep destroying the logical fallacies that people make. I will keep presenting the evidence as best as I can. I'm not joking when I say that this takes up, like, it's almost a second full-time job. So I'm doing this not for the money, but because I care. Okay, let's look at Australia real quick, and then we're gonna do like a solar system one, and maybe we'll do an African one just to finish it off. But like, there's Alabara. I mean, this isn't even Australia at this point. This is just kind of like an Australia wannabe. Wash, Owasana. Apparently, Japan made it in here. Okay. The Denny, Wyoming, Gignadia, I mean, Yolindala, Missouri. I mean, there is some consistency between that map and the other map that I did. Tasmania's down here. There's no border between the state here. So it's just Louisiana and Tasmania. It's just like two different ends of the same state. Okay. Generate a map of the solar system. Ohio and Ohio. Yeah. Ohio and Ohio. I saw that too. There's Ohio over here. And then there's Michigan blocking the rest of Ohio. There's work. There's work. That's right. There's work here. There's WNI. It's just Wunna. It's just Wunna. There's Missouri. Yeah. Yeah. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Fantastic stuff, AI. Absolutely fantastic. Maine with and without any. Yeah, the United States of Pangea. Yeah. Fantastic. I place full trust in AI. Why wouldn't you? Right? Why not? Great Lakes have been drained. Yeah. Okay, solar system, and then maybe we'll do. Hey, Chief, good to see you. By the way, good to see you, Mist. Good to see you, Taz. I'm sure I missed somebody, but good to see you guys. Let's see the solar system here. Oh, no. Oh, no. We have Sun. We have Mercury. We have an unknown planet. We have Venus. We have Earth. We have Saturn. We have unknown planet. We have Pluto. Bros, I can't. Oh my god. Why wouldn't you let AI do surgery? Yeah, Earth and Jupiter fused. Look at how big Earth is. My God. I can't. Okay, we have to do Africa. Pluto is once again a planet. Mars traveler. Yeah, Elon in shambles. Elon is in shambles. Okay, one more. One more. Generate a map of Africa. Okay, that's all we're going to prompt it. We're going to leave it open-ended. We're going to let AI do its thing. I thought a simple solar system would be easy for AI. Guess not. That's right, Mist. That's right. I think that was a really good prompt because it demonstrates like can AI tackle simpler things? It will be easy only if they pre-train. There's the issue, right? Every other query works like that, right? Let's see. Map of Africa. Okay. And then I have one more piece of news to kind of end it on. A very short one. Let's see what Africa's like, bros. Let's see what Africa's like. Give AI a softball question, get back a nonsensical answer. Yep. Do. AI equals aggregated indexes. That's right. Do. Holy crap. No. 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 Stop. No. No, please. I beg of you, stop. What the hell happened to Africa? What the hell happened? Look, there's like little tiny, there's no titles? Hang on. Okay, generate me a map of Africa with, I don't know, states, provinces, whatever, countries, titles. Not enough data, doesn't know the name. Hey, Vamp on YouTube, shut the hell up. Bros, we're getting like a special version. Yeah, we're going to give feedback on which version is better. Are you ready? Are you ready to value judge the two different maps of Africa? Let's see which one ChatGPT makes better. But also, while it's generating this, not this one, this one. This is clearly not Africa. Like, what the hell is this? Is this somebody's signature? It's taking its sweet time. I'm not sure what these little islands are. Like, this is crazy. How did it come up with these? Okay, here we go. Oh no. Oh no. We've got Algeria, Libya next to Egypt up here. We've got Tunisia. We've got Cape Verde. We've got Mauritania. We've got Cape Verde again. We've got Mali. We've got Niger, Chad, Sudan, Eritrea. We've got Cotrala something. We've got Guinea, Algeria again. Oh, there's even a legend. They even put a legend up. Look at that. Democrat, Africa, Core Republic, Kenya, Sifrules, Comoros, Zimbabwe, Scudafria, Lapo, in 3 quotation marks, followed by name, followed by 2 quotation marks. And then a legend, just in case you don't know. It's just the legend. With the seashells, apparently. Seashells are in here. We have Zimbabwe, we have Madagascar. We've got Burkina Faso twice. Like, what the hell is this? Let's see if the other one is any better. Shall we? Shall we see if this one's any better? No. No, it's not better at all. It just lacks color. And there's no legend. Seashells and Ciellas. Yeah. Yeah. Eritrea. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Scudaftia, yeah. Yeah. I should tell it to generate a map of the Mandelbrot set. we'll do that, and I'll end it on this one thing. I'll give a shout out because there's a positive and a negative to this, and I just wanted to kind of talk about one of the negatives and the positive. So while that's generating, just real quick. So terminal.shop. So they're coming out with some new stuff, some new videos. Essentially what they're doing, if you know Prime and Tej and some of the people involved in this, they have done this kind of cool thing where you order coffee from your terminal. I'm a little bit disappointed, however, because they're starting to enter more into the entertainment space and less into the programming space, which is where they got their start. And makes me feel bad because these guys used to be bastions of some of the stuff we talk about, essentially being like, you could go to them and you could generally get a reasonable sense of like what programmers need to be doing in this space. But unfortunately, because content creation has become their full-time job, they're kind of pressed into making entertainment content because that's how they get their views and whatnot. And that's sad, because these people actually had some takes that like were pretty good, and they could have continued to push the programming space in the tech industry into a positive direction. But now their channels and what they're talking about, it's going to be more geared around entertainment and getting the clicks and the views. So on the one hand, they've done something that I think is like somewhat cool, you know, depending on your perspective. You know, you might find that interesting, ordering coffee from the terminal. That's kind of cool, you know, it's an interesting thing. And they've had some good ideas on like things that need to be done in the industry. And they've even created some stuff on their own. But it's sad for me to see them go in this direction. And this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm trying to avoid, because the people will follow them and they will start to they've already, you know, take their word as gospel. And unfortunately, I don't think this helps the industry. I think this just avoids problems or even exacerbates problems that currently exist. So it's both sad and not sad at the same time. I'm not sure how to describe it, but if you're looking for some entertainment value in the tech industry, you're probably going to find it here. So if you want to find some entertainment, they're probably going to give you some entertainment. I can recommend them for that. But I just wanted to bring that out because it feels sad for me to see this direction from these people. I just don't have a lot of hope for the direction, the way that they're going. Let's see what it came up with the Mandelbrot set. Did it come up with anything? There you go. That's the Mandelbrot set. That's actually not too bad. That seems pretty accurate, I think. I'm just trying to like count stuff. Seems pretty accurate. Both of them are full-time streamers now, no Netflix money, so they have to spin the plates. Yeah, unfortunately. All in all, if people weren't so on about AI hype, like AI will solve everything, then otherwise, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the AI hypists who make wild, bold claims that programmers will be replaced and you can trust it with everything. Yeah. It looks pretty real. Like, it's not bad. I'm trying to find differences, but they're pretty minor. Like, if you look over here, you can see that the top over here isn't as complete as the bottom. But you can kind of like account for that. You can kind of excuse that away with you know, the fidelity of the picture, right? You could say that's just because it's like low fidelity. You might expect to see that in a low fidelity image anyways. So like generally it's relatively consistent. Crash the AI by telling it to zoom in and try again. I'm not going to do that. That's it. I'm going to go. That's all I got time for today. I'm going to end it there. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate it. And I just want to I really want to express some appreciation today for the people who are on here and continually support. Like I said, do the like and the subscribe and all that. It really helps me. And as long as you do that, I will go on anywhere and argue with anyone and debate these ideas with anyone and do my best to represent the view that I think we generally share. And And again, I feel like I'm the only person in this space who's doing this. It's unfortunate for me to see other streamers and influencers go the way of entertainment instead of the stuff that we care about here. But yeah, I'll do my best. So thanks everybody. And I will be back tomorrow for another Daily Tech News stream. Oh, sorry, one last thing. The debate that I had today on the X Space, we're going to do a follow-up debate with some of the same people that we're on tomorrow. We're figuring out a time. It'll probably be like probably around this time, actually, according to my time zone difference. It'll probably be around this time, but it's on X. I will ask if I can stream it on my end, and maybe we can do a dual thing so you guys can catch it everywhere. Because we're just like going to argue about whether vibe coding is a scam. That was the argument that I had on X today on the space. Unfortunately, that debate was not recorded, so I can give you guys a link to it, but you won't hear anything. It wasn't recorded. So you'll have to take my word for it. I completely and utterly demolished everyone on that space. 100%. Nobody had any logical arguments. Nobody had any data. They were all logically inconsistent. I completely demolished that space. I owned it. Ross helped me when he came on. People were making mechanic arguments with cars. Ross comes on. He's like, yo, I used to be a mechanic. I know all about it. Drop some truth bombs on them, and then he demolish them even further. It was fantastic. So I'll try and make like some kind of announcement or something for tomorrow. That way, if you want to catch it, you can catch us trash talking, vibe coding more. Okay, I really do got to go. I'm way over time. Thanks everybody. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Appreciate the support. I will see you guys tomorrow, one way or the other. Peace out.